All right. So, first and foremost, guys, again, you guys have all heard us talk about this for some time. Scoping is detailed. You need to have a process for it, and it's done by room. So, for those of you who may have done, um, remodeling, things like that, where you're kind of saying, okay, well, we know we have drywall to do. It's a lump sum number. That's not how restoration works. You have to detail out items for insurance companies and how our software Xactimate works, to develop the pricing through Xactimate. If you do not have access to the field support, send me a direct message. I'll get you the link. We'll make sure that you guys are included in the jot forms. Again, we also have a PDF version. I have an editable one that I'll play with, but we have ones that you guys can print out and use as well. I've shared all of this information in the Recon channel as well, so there's videos to watch for both styles of scoping. So I don't want to go into too much detail as far as this training goes because we only have 30 minutes. You guys can watch that video, but certainly if you have questions, we will, I'll try and answer them as best as possible. Eventually, I'd like to get this reconstruction scoping off of jot forms and in our new app sheet. Seems to go a little bit more smooth. Editing is a lot easier when there's missing information than jot forms. It's just a lot better, but it takes a while for those to get created. So for now, we'll go through jot forms. If you'll notice the field support here, there's a lot of different areas. A lot of this stuff is pertaining to mitigation, but there is a box for the reconstruction scoping. When you click this or touch it on your iPad, whichever you use, it'll pull up this screen. This is where you're going to start entering your information for your client, what we got going on. So, we'll just do like a test recon training here. Location would be the address. Your work center reference number, you get this off of work center. It's generally, you have the year, the month, and then the number that's pertaining to it. Usually it's going to end in REC. Okay. You can select what branch you're in. You can choose the technician's name. We can get you guys added. This is not as important because you guys are putting in templates now. This used to be important when we didn't have the portal. So I think you can leave it blank, but if not, just pick a name. It doesn't really matter. We'll know who did the scope. The scope number. So jot forms can only do up to 5 rooms per request. So if you have more than 5 rooms to scope, understand how many rooms you have, and then that's how you're going to be able to do your scope number. This is for your reference. This is also for our reference. So if we have 9 rooms that we need to scope, we'll have to do these forms twice. So you'd have 1 of 2, and then your next one would be 2 of 2. If you had 15 rooms, you'd have 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. So for today, we're just going to do 1 room, but I'll show you where to, if you have another room, what you would do. But this is up to 5 rooms. So since we have 1, we're within 5, we'd only need 1 form. Once you have that information filled out, you'll hit next, okay? And then you'll put your room name. From here, you're going to go down the list. You can see that there's all these touch points, and they're all just going to ask you questions, okay? Here's your next button for your next room. We'll hit that on the next, when we get through this, just so you can see it. Now, again, I want to go a little bit quickly here because we only have 30 minutes, and I want to show you guys the PDF version as well. So I'm going to skip some of this stuff, but just to show you, again, you're going to touch the bar. Do we have any content manipulation? You're asking yourself questions. am I doing any content manipulation within this room? If so, you're going to select the amount of hours. You can select the amount of room size that you have here. Okay, use these drop downs. They'll help you. We'll just say we have 3 hours in this one. Do we have masking that we need to do? Do we have floor protection that needs to happen? That we need to put in before, to get to the project. We should always put that down. If the mitigation teams removed it, get some carpet masking, put it down to walk through the house to that location. It's only gonna increase your revenue, but it's gonna protect the other flooring or other materials that we're walking through to get to that place. And likely you're not wearing booties, you're not going to wear, take off your boots, things like that. Make sure your subs are clean. It's just going to help with that. But we have floor measurements, we have wall measurements, we have ceiling measurements, or you can give us a specific amount. All of these are done by square footage. So are we going to use any of this? Maybe we don't have self-adhesive plastic, but certainly we might be painting. Are we doing the whole floor? 75% of the floor, 50% of the floor, 25% of the floor. Same thing for walls. That's what the W stands for, is the walls. 75% of the walls, 50% of the walls, 25% of the walls. Ceiling, C. So select what you want to have here. What are we doing that we need to do this? Maybe you just want the perimeter 10 linear feet done for drywall. Be specific in how you guys are giving us this information. We can't read your mind. So you got to make sure you're spelling some things out for us. Okay. So PPE, is there any PPE that you guys need to have? Gloves, Tyvek, anything like that? It's not often that we use it, but there are times that you would. Okay. Floor. So when we get to the floor, again, we're asking, what am I dealing with? What kind of floor do I have here? For the sake of this, we'll use carpet. Okay. What's our measurement? 100% of the floor, or are we just patching it in? Okay. What grade are we dealing with? I will tell you guys now, don't do anything less than average grade unless you are 100% sure it is a standard grade carpet. Average and high are pretty commonly used. Galen, a lot of your stuff that you're going to deal with is going to be higher premium. It can all depend on what area you're in. Okay, so make sure you're selecting the appropriate grade that you think it could be. Obviously, we can also send stuff to ITEL. That'll give us some idea of what that material cost is. If there's a finish, most of this is for your wood floors. Okay, if you do a wood floor, if it's pre-finished, that's an engineered wood floor. Might have a beveled edge. No finish would be a site finished wood floor. Okay, and then we have calculation here for you guys to put that in. Okay, and again, you're just going through here and you're asking, what am I doing? Am I removing tack strip? Do I need to put tack strip back in? Okay. Is it a laminate plank? Is it a wood? Is it glued down? Mortar, some ceramic tile, hardwood? Do we have underlayment? Do we need to do anything with floors, subfloors? Do we have gypcrete? Okay. Once you've answered those, you can collapse it and go to your trim. Same thing here. What am I dealing with base? How tall is this base? We have the 6 inches here, but if for some reason you had to replace all of it and it was an 8-inch, look, 100% of the perimeter foot, you can put over here in the other type of trim, 8-inch. What are we dealing with? Is it stain, paint, or hardwood? Okay. If you're doing another calculation, there's only a few linear feet, you can just do other calculation and type in 3. We have casing, chair rail, crown, cove, door jambs, okay, window sills, corner trims, quarter rounds, door casing. We have this in here twice. You could use one of these for window trim, but either way works, okay? Walls, what are we dealing with? Again, we're just going through this stuff and asking ourselves questions for this particular room. And you can see that it's starting at the floor and it's working up to the ceiling. That's the best way to scope this stuff is from floor to ceiling. Some people do it ceiling to floor. That's more of old school construction. Restoration, we deal with water losses on a common basis, which is why we go floor to ceiling. It's also easier to read an estimate instead of looking at stuff that you're not really doing much to when you're doing a lot of things. It's better to go from lot to little. But what are we dealing with the walls? Are we dealing with half-inch drywall? There's a lot of different selections you have in here for different types of flood cuts, other calculations. We have a piece in here for same as drywall to keep things easy for you on the square footage. Okay. Be selective. If you need another, it's 65% of the walls, you can always type in here 65%. W. Okay. We have the easy measurement, 25, 50, 75, 100. Okay, but the more details you give us, the better. Obviously, we have flood cuts in here, 2 foot and 4 foot cut. Tell us what you're dealing with. We'll just say that this one's a 2 foot perimeter cut. We're going to take care of that stuff. Do we have any plaster that we're dealing with? Wallpaper bordering, paneling? Are we filling holes? Adding new to existing drywall. This would be, we have a 2 foot cut. There's existing walls above it. That is you're adding new drywall to the existing drywall, and there's a tape joint that's going to go across to match that drywall together. What does that look like? In this particular one, you could just say same as drywall. Okay, we may have to figure out some of the measurements for you on this stuff. The other thing you could do here is go other calculation. Considering this is perimeter foot, you just put PF, perimeter foot. Are we dealing with an orange peel, a knockdown, light hand, heavy hand, skim coating? Let's say we're in Galen's area and they have a level 5 and it takes 3 coats to do this. He might put in walls, 3 coats. Again, the more details you give us, guys, the better we're going to be able to turn this estimate for you. We have an other button in case there's something you want to add in here. Tell us what that is. Give us that additional information. Do we have any registers, light, thermostats, smoke detectors, light bars, mirrors, door chimes, handrails, mantles, hearths, fireplace doors for these wall fixtures? Then we go to ceiling. We might not have anything. If it's a flood cut, we might just have painting to do for the ceiling. Okay, and then it had ceiling fixtures in there. What are we dealing with on the installation? Is it faced? Is it just bat, blown in, cellulose, fiberboard, foam board? For the sake of this, we'll just say that it's R13, which is your 4-inch. Okay. Do we have floors, walls, ceilings, or any additional measurements? If we do a 2 foot cut and you put 100% of the walls, we're going to do 2 feet high. Just keep that in mind. So if it's really full wall, okay, you could also put in here 2 PF if it's just the perimeter foot. If you put 50%, we're going to consider that it's just the exterior walls, and we'll make sure we put that in there. And we go to painting. What are we painting? Well, we have baseboards, we have casing, walls, ceiling, okay, perimeter foot, walls. You're just going to hit walls, ceilings, 100% of the ceiling, okay. Looks like Jason missed the measurements, but either way, we're gonna put the stuff in here correctly. You're just telling us what we need to know. What cleaning are we doing? Every job should have final cleaning, and I want everybody to understand that window cleaning is not included in final cleaning. They're 2 separate items. It is so often the dust is going to get on those windows if we're not protecting them. And why would we if we're not dealing with any drywall around them or painting around them? So, and even if we do, when you pull that stuff off, you guys have all seen it when you texture and you've covered that window, right there. You're going to have cleaning because that stuff is going to dust up. So you can put the measurements. It's always going to be the floor. So whatever you put here, we're gonna make sure it's the floor. You could also just put in F for the square footage. Window cleaning, you can see there's a drop down. You have small, medium, and large windows. Okay. Somewhere tell us how many. Maybe it's 60. There's 3 windows. They're each 20 square feet, 60 square footage. Okay. That's how windows are done. Doing anything, and I'm just going to quickly go through this because we only have 9 minutes and I want to show you guys the PDF version. Same thing, doors, windows, plumbing, cabinets, bath fixtures, appliances, mechanical labor. Okay. We also have, under the labor here, you have additional scope information. If you need to type out additional details, something that's not in this form, type it out there. Tell us what's going on in that room so that we understand what you might see. Hey, this wood floor has a beveled edge. Hey, this wood floor looks to be hickory or bamboo, or it's a cork floor. The more information you provide to us, the better we can detail out your reconstruction. If you have another room, you're going to hit next, and it starts all over again. And you're going to go into that room, and you're going to take care of it.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Quick question. My understanding is if we lose connection with the iPad in the field, we lose information. So how do we mitigate that from happening, since we know we have?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I would suggest that before you go to that project, that you first off always have the paper forms printed out, because you'll know when you get to that house that your self-service is good enough or not. And if it's not, jot forms is not the way to go. You're gonna have to do the paper form. Okay. Again, these are all attached in the Recon channel in Slack. There's videos. I've attached the scope form. If you need a copy of it, don't hesitate to DM me. I will gladly send you another copy of these things. Okay. But certainly have printed copies with you in the event that jot forms and your internet connection is not great. This form is not much different than jot forms. It's just paper and you're going to be writing on it. Okay. I can give you guys the digital version. I don't have the digital version of the most recent printout because we added a 3rd page that has additional line items and information that you can write in there. But the editable version, you have to have for your iPad, you have to have the Adobe subscription to be able to do it. It's kind of a pain in the ass, and that's $30 a month.
We're not doing that.
Yeah. And again, eventually I want to get this into AppSheets so that you guys will have something that's stable. I believe AppSheets can also be used offline. So, there's capabilities there. I haven't had issues with the mitigation team using it that way yet. So, but again, when you guys look at this, I know that this is cumbersome, but all this information is the same information that's in jot forms. It's just typed out. So it looks like it's a lot. Okay, the second page on this this scope form, you may not use a lot of this stuff because it's more for your kitchen cabinets, bathrooms, plumbing, windows, different. You might have blinds that you put in, but it's not as often. That's why I put all this stuff on the second page, because you're going to use this first page most often. But it's the same process. What is the room name? You can see in the top right corner here, we have the room name. Okay. And you're just going to go through here. Now, what I want to take time doing here for you guys is not going through all of these line items and where to place stuff. I want to talk about these designations. Okay. S, small, medium, large, extra large. Just like your t-shirts. Okay. Floor is F. Why do we have these in here like this? It's an easy way for RRS to understand the calculations quicker for Xactimate. So when I do a project and I have a sketch, which, by the way, guys, we cannot write an Xactimate detail properly without a sketch. There has been a few projects that have come through our board with no Matterport, no sketch, and then we have floors, walls, ceiling, different. I can't calculate anything without a sketch. Okay. If you gave me square footages, I could put them in a folder, but guys, that is not the right way to put an estimate together. Get us a sketch, get us a Matterport. We can take care of that for you. But F is floor. PF, perimeter floor. PC, perimeter ceiling. LF, linear footage. Okay. Try and remember these. If I need to send a cheat sheet or a legend for you guys for this stuff, I'm happy. In fact, I'll do that anyway. I'll put it together and I'll post it in your Recon channel so that you know what all these designations mean. But this is how you go through projects quickly to not spend so much time scoping. Stop thinking about the actual linear footage and actual drywall, if you can, 25% perimeter foot. That stuff is floor. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a 12 by 12 room and somebody tells me it's 150 square feet. No, it's not. It's 144 square feet. There are many lines. I don't need to know your waste. There are waste calculations that we have to do for insurance company, of which most of these are already included in the line item in Xactimate. Will take care of the waste. I need to know what you're doing exactly. Okay. SF, square footage. Okay. For base here, we have PF, then we have these 3/4. You might have 3/4, 75% of the baseboard. So you'd select PF and 3/4. If it was only half the room, you would select PF half the room. Or you can give me a linear footage. W equals walls. DNR equals detach and reset. This plus is to replace. We don't have a lot of room in these cells, which is why we have to use some of these designations. Otherwise, this thing would be 10 pages long and wide. Okay. Ceiling, D equals ceiling. Okay. Floor, walls. I'm looking at cleaning here. FWC, floor, wall, ceiling.
Ryan,
another one.
We're down to about 2 minutes. I want to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
More broadly.
I'll work on getting these designated out so that you guys can understand what this is, and you'll have your own little PDF legend for it.
But for it seems like for every job we should have some floor protection, maybe containment, maybe an air scrubber sometimes. Are you seeing that we're speccing that stuff or putting it on the scope sheet? Booties. Can we get paid for that stuff every time?
There might be an argument that's made, but I think you guys can also make the argument too. There are line items like, and I hate this, by the way. There are line items like painting that says that, they're going to do reasonable masking, right? That's so subjective though.
Yeah.
So, if it's your normal, just painting a little bit of a wall, okay, let's consider that. But if you're doing a lot of different things, you guys got to develop an argument for that masking. But booties, PPE, absolutely we can put that stuff in as a general condition. I sent out an email about a month ago. I think I had one response from Michael Waters, of all people. I didn't get any other responses when it came to general conditions. My recommendation for you guys would be, think about the general conditions that you want on every single project. What does that look like? And Colin and I can build a macro around those specific items that basically every reconstruction project, it's going to have booties, it's going to have labor supervision, it's going to have dumpsters or pickup loads, it's going to have X, Y, and Z, floor protection, whatever. Tell us what that is, and I will build a macro, and that will make it on every single one of those. One of the things that I will tell you guys is, when it comes to supervision, I think that you guys are extremely light in how many hours you're actually telling us to do. There has to be some consideration, certainly. I mean, we have a $126,000 basically painting job that has like 15 hours of supervision. That's probably right. But generally speaking, a rule of thumb that I've used is 1 hour for every $1,000. Now, I use that within reason, but you have to think about a $240,000 project between you, the desk project manager, and the actual superintendent. You're probably going to spend 240 hours on that project.
Ryan,
And
we're
that's
at
not
time.
included in overhead and profit. Yeah.
Sorry to, yeah, we're at time, and I know I have a jump to another meeting, and I know other people get scheduled back to back. So, as always, I thank you for the time commitment that you're taking for scoping. And if anybody does want to hang on, Linda, you have a question, please feel free. I have to jump, but thank you so much, Ryan. We appreciate you.
Yep. I'll stick around until everybody leaves. If you got questions, I'm happy to answer them. Linda, you have a question.
No, I just wanted to, oh, sorry. Just wanted to suggest, roofing estimating, training. What are the things that you guys need for the, roof estimate?
Eagle view.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Eagle
we
view.
need a sketch. If I can help it, I hate using sketch. I hate it because Eagle View gives me everything I need to know.
Yeah,
Generally.
like the rest, of the photos and things that we need, to go through the like audits and things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think State Farm wants some sort of a sketch. I haven't taught Colin how to sketch roofs. I think he knows enough to make himself dangerous. I can sketch roofs, not like I can sketch a house, but I can do enough that'll pass an audit. But even then I would still Eagle View it. We would attach that Eagle View because if the measurements are a little bit off, we can't get the right measurements. But Eagle View will also give us the measurements and the slopes.
What is Eagle View?
If they can
I'm sorry,
capture
guys.
it. Eagle View is a program where they basically use Google Earth and it measures out the roofs, tells us the slope, tells us what to add as far as step flashing, valley flashing, ridges, vents, different things like that. It's a program.
Yeah, whenever you need that, Christopher, I can order Eagle View for you. Ryan, and by the way, I'm
Yep.
sorry to interrupt and jump like this. I just wanted to apologize to be late, okay? I was in a meeting with.
No, don't apologize. I didn't realize you were in the meeting with Matt. Same for Chris.
Yeah, okay.
He just
and-
told me he was going to be late, so that was all.
Okay, Ryan, and when it comes to audits and roofing, we are declining those jobs, right? Just wanted to confirm with you.
So roofing only right now, we don't need to do those through audit. We're not on the roofing program from my understanding. However, I will tell you that ServPro Corporate is starting to talk about adding that as a division for ServPro nationwide.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It might not be a bad idea to start working through those processes. Now, what I would also recommend is that you communicate to that adjuster that, hey, listen, we are not on the program. We're not on a roofing program with you guys. We're happy to do this, but please be patient with us. And if there's something that you need or there's a requirement that we have to do, please educate us so that, when this becomes a program through ServPro Corporate, we're ready to roll.
Okay, so, and what about the overhead and profit for these jobs? They don't approve the overhead profit for roofing.
Yeah, and that's because they think that we are roofing contractors. So that's something to make sure that they understand is, listen, we don't have a roofing crew. I have to pay a subcontractor.
Sure.
Now I want you guys to understand the way that Xactmate is built, technically speaking, okay, is that the money that is in those line items is technically for the subcontractor. It includes the subcontractor's overhead and profit. It includes the subcontractor's worker wages, labor burden, so on and so forth. It does not include ServPros. We are a general contractor of which we need to have supervision so that we can make sure that the customer's happy. We have oversight that our subcontractor is doing the right job and doing the correct things and not fucking up. Right. And then we also have the admin side where we have to write the estimate, we have to bill it, we have all of that stuff is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about educating. Now, again, from there, I would say, okay, well, then you're going to need to find a roofing contractor to do this project, because we're not set up as a roofing contractor that has their own crew doing this work.
Got it. That would be our note for the adjuster, right?
I would communicate that
Mhm.
directly to him on the phone too, and yes, I would
Mhm.
send him an email and a note saying, "This is why we have overhead and profit on here."
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, my pleasure. Any other questions? I'll stick around. You guys can leave whenever you need to if you don't have questions, or if you want to stick around and listen. Doesn't matter to me.
So I do
But I'm
have
happy to answer anything I can.
I have a roofing project, bud. What is the ultimate? Are we deciding that we're going to do those, and I need to sketch it out, or I need to do an eagle view of it? Are we wanting to do that if it's only roof damage?
That's entirely up to your group. I'm not going to make that decision. That's something I would discuss with Matt.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan, for your time.
My pleasure.
All right, Ryan. You have a great one. I'm leaving.
All right, take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate your time, man.
My pleasure, Galen. Linda, Michael, you guys have any questions?